This is Golf Talk Canada, Canada's only national golf talk radio and TV program. Presented by Taylormade. Try the all-new Tour Response, a tour-quality urethane ball that doesn't cost as much as a ball played on tour. Only from Taylormade. Visit TaylormadeGolf.ca to learn more. Now, here are your hosts, Mark Zecchino, Bob Weeks, and Adam Scully.
What?
Nothing. It's a card from my dad.
What is it? Wait. Dear son, happy Festivus? What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's not.
When George was growing
Jerry,
up,
no.
his father hated all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas, so he made up his own holiday.
Oh, and another piece of the puzzle falls into place.
All right.
And instead of a tree, didn't your father put up an aluminum pole?
Not anymore. I'm going to work. You happy now? I'm out of here.
Happy Festivus. It's Festivus. When George was growing up, his father...
It's nothing. It's a stupid holiday my father invented. It doesn't exist.
Happy Festivus, Georgie.
Frank invented a holiday? He's so prolific.
Oh, welcome to Golf Talk Canada and Adam, our 10th annual Festivus special right here on TSN Radio, Coast to Coast, iHeartRadio app. And for the first time ever, Festivus, you can watch us on TSN2 this morning as well. How good is that?
And we've both been around a little bit. Good to be back in studio.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in studio. It's nice to, I always like the show better when we're together. Now, Bob's on vacation, but Bob's going to jump in with us this morning, bottom of the hour, to give us his feats of strength and his grievances. And that's what today's about. We're going to get into a lot today. We're going to do winners, weird, and what of the season. We're going to give you some future bets for next year with our TSN Edge segment. But we're really here to air the grievances and acknowledge the feats of strength in our Festivus special in golf, I might add. Because sometimes we go off the rails.
Could be a long show without that.
Especially considering we're still 18, 19 months into this special COVID land that we're all living in. So let's kind of keep it golf related, although sometimes those things are going to cross over.
Actually, and we'll hear it later because we have some special guests joining us. And one of our special guests discussing his feats of strength and his grievances talks about a betting parlay that actually went wrong. And that player played in the PGA Tour. So
a little teaser for you there. Coming up at the bottom, top of hour 2.
Just before
the top of hour 2.
Exactly.
All right, we'll do that later on in the show. Lots to get to. Before we get to it, and before, because, I could kick this off with a rant right now about something that's upsetting
You might have to.
But before we do, you were in Spain.
I was in Spain.
We got our, and we just got back from, both of us just got back from California together with Bob. Our friends from Taylormade had us down. We saw next year's product.
It's something.
Can't say anything. I know if you go on social media right now, you'll probably see it, but we're still not going to say exactly what it is. But wow, looks great, feels great. Ball speeds are up. That's all I'm going to say. But before we get to that, Spain.
Yeah. So first of all, the product, and you'll see some videos coming out in early 2022 once the product's been released, and you'll see the excitement in Mark's face, in my face,
I
in
went
Bob's
nuts.
face. We actually, there's a high five we have. We're shooting some video with our good friend Tomo Bystad, and we saw some of the numbers coming off from the new product, and wow.
When you flew it 326.
Yes.
I was like, do you ever see the NBA All-Star game where the guy nails the 10 dunk and they all come running off the bench and they're holding each other back? Yeah, that was me.
That was it.
That was me on the range. When you hit it 326 airborne, I was like, feet of strength of the year, right?
Strength.
That could be my feet of strength.
Right there.
I flipped out. It was awesome.
But we're so excited for everyone to see the new product, and we'll have lots of interviews, and we shot a lot of great content last week in Carlsbad. But getting back to Spain.
I got to know, because I couldn't go for work obligations. TJ Rule, Golfway Tours, our good friend TJ went. You had a great group of PGA of Canada professionals, yourself and the Hound Dog.
The MVP of the trip.
Yes. So tell us about the trip.
We were all over. It was Malaga and Marbella. We were hosted by some wonderful hotels, played some unbelievable golf courses, most notably, of course.
Obviously, Valderrama is the one everyone asks about.
Valderrama. So a couple of great things about Valderrama. They have guest tee times every day from 12 until 2. So if you want to go play Valderrama, you can go to Spain and play Valderrama. Very playable. So
is it very similar to, say, like Royal County Down in the sense where it's a members club, but open it up to international guests?
Because they know how much of a spectacle, I guess you could call it. It's a showcase event. Like if you go to Spain and you're playing golf, it's a course that you'd love to play twice if you have the financial means to. Because it's not very long, it's very playable, it's very tight. If you miss your spot by a hair, you're chipping out sideways. And the Matthew Fitzpatrick won at Valderrama about 6 weeks prior to when we played at 6 under par for 4 rounds, so you can tell how difficult it was. But when we played, we had the Sunday pins, which was,
I saw some of the Instagram posts,
which was pretty special. Yeah, so it was an all-around great trip. Also played Finca Cortesín, who's hosting the 2023 Solheim Cup, and that's going to be fun to see as well. Really enjoyed our time in Spain. Thanks to all those who followed us on our Golf.Canada social media.
And we're going to see some more stuff later on next year.
So early 2022, you'll see interviews being released. We'll air some of them on TV. They'll all be on our YouTube channel.
Awesome.
So it was just a very memorable trip.
All right, loved it. How this is working today, we should let everybody know. It is Festivus, so we are going to give away something. We're going to give away, we thought we were going to do some golf balls today or wedges.
No.
Our friends at Taylormade, once again, Nick, steps up and goes, you know what? Let's give away some P790s. That's right. This is the hottest iron on the planet, the brand new Taylormade P790s. If you want to share your feat of strength in the game of golf, it could be personal, it could be something you witnessed professionally, PGA Tour, etc. A feat of strength and a grievance in the game of golf, share it with us on Twitter or Instagram at Golf Talk Canada. On Twitter or Instagram. If we use it on the show today, you're going to have a chance to win a set of P790s. You can tweet us at any time or hit us up on Instagram at Golf Talk Canada anytime in the next 2 hours. Some people have already submitted entries over the weekend. If we use it on the air, and we're certainly going to use a few, you're going to have a chance to win a set of P790 irons. We're going to do it today, a Festivus for the rest of us. But let's hit it up now with some news and headlines.
News and headlines are brought to you by Sandbagger Hard Seltzer. Sandbagger, everybody knows one.
Okay, Adam, I mean, I could kill the next 10 minutes on the next one, but I'm not going to do it because this is in my winner's weird or what of the year, and it might come up in grievances, obviously. But it kicks off news and headlines, and it's appropriate that this would kick off news and headlines in our Festivus show. In the middle of Greg Norman's presser, okay, at the shootout this weekend, his two-man team event, by the way, that he partners with the PGA Tour to put on. Okay, he does a news conference about the Live Golf Group, and in the news conference, the internet goes out, and he's unable to take questions. How appropriate is that? That in a Saudi-backed golf tournament, the media is cut off and they're not allowed to ask questions.
Well, it's very, we all have Zoom fatigue, as they've now coined the phrase. And, back in the days of the Golf Talk Canada video podcast back in March and April of 2020, sometimes the Wi-Fi would go out. We'd have to restart. I remember last year, Rory McIlroy was asked a question in a Zoom sort of setting, and the Wi-Fi went out. And I think one of the reporters actually swore because he didn't think he was live on mic. This is just Zoom fatigue going rogue. And for Greg Norman, I love the Dr. Evil, Austin Powers sort of quotation marks.
Yeah. Okay, there's a quote here that it was absolutely shocking. The players are going to have the opportunity. Listen to this quote. The players are going to have the opportunity as independent contractors to play both tours. And I think that's fantastic. What dream planet is he living on? Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour, Keith Powley, they've already come out and said, you go play this tour, you participate, you're out. You're out. You're gone. So what is this? Is this gamesmanship, or does he know something we don't? I think it's pure gamesmanship.
I think it has to be on his point. He's always been someone to sell his brand, his product. When he was playing, now he's obviously not playing as much or once or twice a year. So I'm curious where this goes. But as we've talked about at length on this show, unless someone really notable goes, players are playing for their legacy, for trophies, and they make millions of dollars doing that, but I just don't see them going this way to LIV.
Thank you. And we will ask the question. We'll ask it later on in the show. What's your soul worth? And that's what it is. Annika Sorenstam has not ruled out playing the U.S. Women's Open. Of course, she's the reigning U.S. Senior Women's Open champion, where she just annihilated that field. It was so impressive because she hasn't played competitive golf in ages. Comes out, grabs that, but now she gets the invite. And she's suggesting that you know what? She's considering this. I'd love to see her play.
I mean, she's won 72 times on the LPGA Tour. She saw what Phil Mickelson did last year at the PGA Championship, something that will come up a number of times.
Do you think?
Maybe just a few times with her feats of strength, but she probably saw what Phil did, becoming the oldest major champion ever, and think, hey, maybe I can do the same thing. So if she does go on to play, that'd be awesome to see.
It would be absolutely awesome to see. Something that maybe our listening and viewing audience might have forgotten, because it kind of happened earlier in the year, and it was bizarre. It certainly was a weird, and then it kind of went off the radar. Thorbjorn Olsen had a bit of we'll call it an episode, Adam, at 30,000 feet in a plane. A few cocktails, a few sleeping pills were involved. He inappropriately touched a flight attendant and inappropriately used his seat on the plane as a bathroom. But was cleared of all charges this week. Were you surprised to see? I thought we might get, guilty of a lesser charge because he was under the influence, and they deemed that maybe the intent was not. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I play one on radio on occasion. He got cleared.
I mean, surprising for sure, but we obviously weren't on that airplane. Some of the stories that were written were horrifying to say the least. But he was cleared. That's interesting.
All right, so I claimed that Colin Morikawa was going to get to number one in the world pretty quickly.
Yep.
And I'd be surprised that when we started next year's calendar year, that very early, by the time we got to the West Coast, that Morikawa would likely be the number one player in the world. Now,
he almost did.
He had a chance to do it 2 weeks ago, which is a little quicker than I kind of even anticipated that he was going to get there. 5-shot lead heading into the Hero World Challenge. He blows a 5-shot. This is the first time we've seen Morikawa kind of look like a human.
Yeah.
He had a lot going on in his life. He just got engaged. He just won the DP World Tour. He's got a chance to be the second fastest player in history, only to Tiger Woods, to be number one in the world. How shocked were you to see the 5-shot lead? And of course, Victor Hovland, he played great and grabs the W.
Yeah, you know what? People talk about the silly season, so you wonder if he wasn't sharp enough, but he had a 5-shot lead. He was playing great. I think the most shocking thing was the fairway wood he had on the front nine. They had the Pro Tracer on it, and we all know he plays a 5-yard cut on every shot he ever hits. And this thing snap hooked crazily, 30 yards left, and you never see Morikawa hit a shot like that. I was certainly surprised. But I think this is something he'll take and he'll learn from this because he's so even-keeled. We saw even after winning the Open Championship just how poised he was, beating a big group and, thanking the crowd moments after. What kind of poise for a 24, 25-year-old guy to do this? So, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the winner's circle shortly. And I know you have some futures bets that we'll get to later in the show.
We're going to do that later on in the show for
maybe
sure.
with a green jacket, perhaps. But it's
are these two names that we need to get used to for 2022?
Morikawa and Hovland.
You kind of have to think so, no?
Well, Hovland had that great quote at the end of 2020 saying his chipping sucks, and he had to work on his chipping. And now it doesn't suck.
Did you see it in Mayakoba a few weeks ago? I mean, short-siding himself on some greens you just don't want to be, and his chipping was spot on. So
especially in super grainy spots too.
So right? He's addressed that.
Yeah.
So if he's addressed that inside 50 around the green, I gotta think he's already in the top 10 in the world. But I think now we start pushing to the top 5.
As long as remember the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines when he was at the range and he had a shot and the sand went in his eye or something and he WD. As long as he maybe wear some sunglasses. Maybe wear the aviators like Phil, Victor. But no, Victor Hovland has a great positive outlook for 2022.
All right, we're going to get to some futures later on in the show. Quickly wrapping up news and headlines. USGA announces the Adaptive Championship for Disabled Championship, which is great. Our good friend Todd Kierstead did a lot of great work in Canada this year getting that off the ground in this country. So well done, Todd. Well done, USGA. Guess who's back? We were in California. We were on the range getting to hit the brand new Taylormade product, and everybody's phone lit up, and everybody went nuts. And Bob got pulled off the range. You got to do a Sports Center hit, and he got yanked. Why? Because Tiger Woods announced that he will be playing the father and son this week with Charlie. We're going to talk Tiger next. What to expect? What did we think when we heard the news? Where could it go from here? Because there's, are we going to overreact to this? But, watching some of those range sessions, you never
Hard
know.
not to.
Exactly. Don't forget, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Talk Canada. Share your feat of strength. Share your grievance in the world of golf at Golf Talk Canada, Twitter and Instagram. Your chance to win P790s. We'll do it on the other side. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC was presented by Taylormade. Try the all-new Tour Response, a tour-quality urethane ball that doesn't cost as much as a ball played on tour. Only from Taylormade. Visit TaylormadeGolf.ca to learn more. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Taylormade. This segment of GTC is brought to you by SmartGolfDeals.com, the smartest way to shop for golf.
Welcome back to Golf Talk Canada. It is a Festivus for the rest of us. Weeksy on holiday. Scully and Zucchino with you. And Bob's going to jump in by phone, though, and share his feats of strength and his grievances. And,
Probably running or something.
yeah, he's probably gone on a running vacation, is my guess. Up a mountain somewhere. I don't know. We'll find out. Also, we will get his thoughts on the PNC Championship because huge news broke that Tiger Woods, how many months is this removed, Adam? This is 10 months. Yep. 10 months removed from a car accident that potentially could have ended his career. Now,
Or his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was, obviously, when we got the images of what happened in L.A. around the Genesis, it was shocking to all of us when we saw the images.
It's frightening. Yeah.
We didn't know if can you walk again? Like, we didn't, he was in the middle of his last back surgery, recouping from that. We didn't know how his therapy was going, where in the process that was. Obviously, this interrupted that.
Yes.
So, was the back ever going to be healthy again? Never mind the leg. Like, there were so many questions. I don't think any of us thought he'd be playing golf on television this year, in the same calendar year. Here we are, Adam, 10 months later. Again, 36 holes in a golf cart with his son. Okay? He doesn't have to do any heavy lifting here. This is not, we all know what this is. That aside, though, this is a feat of strength.
This is a major league feat of strength. To think of, like you mentioned, the photos, the images we saw of Tiger's car in late February, that big crash. He even mentioned amputation was on the table. And when he posted that social media clip of hitting the 9-iron a couple Sundays ago, and that just broke the internet just like this. And I have to give credit here to our program director, Jeff McDonald,
who's a huge Tiger fan.
But he was the first guy who brought up to me anyway about the PNC Father-Son Championship, how that could be a possibility for Tiger.
Okay, I did not know this.
So is J-Mac a Tiger insider? Maybe he's part of Tiger's camp. Maybe he's there on the range. Maybe he's part of those. But for Tiger Woods, this is just an unbelievable story. Who cares what he shoots this weekend? Yeah. Who cares? He's back playing with his son, which is the most important thing. And, I mean, will he play in the PGA Tour again? He says he will. It's going to take some time. But, like you mentioned, the last time we saw Tiger on camera we saw the car crash, or the videos, or images of the car crash. We saw that interview with Jim Nantz at Genesis, and he didn't seem too optimistic about his back injury. But as we've talked about before, he's so stubborn. He works so hard. He's never going to give up, no matter what. And the fact that he's playing golf on television the same year that he nearly lost his life is simply mind-boggling. So kudos to Tiger. So
I find a few things interesting. I find a lot of this interesting, but a couple of the things I really find interesting is if we go back a week prior to our phones lighting up, he had a press conference at the Hero World Challenge.
Yep.
Okay. And in the press conference, a few things stood out that I also found that there was contradictions. The first one being, I don't have to climb the mountain again. I've done that, been there, done that. I don't need to do that ever again, improve myself and climb the mountain. Now, Nota Begay, who's very close to Tiger Woods, came out and said he laughed when he heard that because he goes, if you know anything about this guy, this guy's just about climbing mountains. Okay? The other thing I found was interesting, Adam, is he suggested, I'll never be a regular PGA Tour player again, that I'm going to pick my spots, play the big events, spotty schedule. Hello. That's all we've seen the last 5, 6, 7 years is a spotty schedule. So there's no change here. So how do you interpret that? Do you interpret that as I'm going to play the 4 majors. I'm going to play the Players' Championship. I'm going to play, Jack's event, maybe Arnie's event. I don't know. Like, are we 8, 9, 10 events a year? Again, it's been spotty the last 5, 6 years, but assuming he gets healthy enough to participate on a PGA Tour level again, which could happen sooner than we think, how did you translate that?
I mean, I think so. He's never been one to play back-to-back weeks heading into a major championship. So what I read into that is he'll play a major championship, have a tune-up event, play another major championship, and so on and so forth. Do I see him playing in the FedEx Cup? No, I don't. I don't think the tour will like that. I mean, maybe he will. I could be totally off base here, but I see him playing, the 4 major championships. I see him playing the Players' Championship. If he's healthy enough to play this year's Players' Championship, because that's in March, who knows what his status will be at that point in terms of walking. But yeah, I see the 4 major championships, 4 other tournaments, and maybe one of the FedEx Cup events if he's up to it. I'm not really sure.
Okay, question for you.
Yep.
I forget who I was having a chat with in California. It might have been Tomo. Not 100% sure. We started pointing at the Players' Championship on the calendar, which is roughly 3 months away. It's in Florida, so he doesn't have to get on a plane. Now, mind you, when those guys fly, he's flying private, et cetera. But I mean, this is up the coastline from his house. Mm-hmm. It is a short golf course by modern day standards. Players who win the Players' Championship tend not to hit a lot of drivers. They'll hit the odd driver on a par 5 here or there, but they're hitting a lot of hybrids, irons, 3-woods off the tee. So it's short, doesn't need to rip at it. It's flat by modern day standards. And Florida, typically, even though it's March, is warmer in March than making efforts to play on the West Coast in February. The West Coast swing in February, trust me, I've worked it 9,000 times. It is the coldest stretch of golf on the PGA Tour we play all year, from Torrey Pines through Pebble Beach, through to Genesis. I mean, you get at least 2 days every week, at least 2, sometimes the whole week, where it is, it's a high of 55 Fahrenheit, 52 Fahrenheit. It's damp, it's cold. It's not the place when you're trying to treat a leg, a back, etc. to be. Could we see him at Sawgrass?
I think that's the most. Yeah, I don't see him playing any of the Western swing like you mentioned. Sawgrass, maybe Bay Hill. I don't think he'll make his debut at the Masters. I think he'll want to play.
He has done that before, though.
He's done that before, but that was a different circumstance with what was going on back in 2010. Right. I think he'll want, as a competitor, because as he's mentioned before, he doesn't show up to a tournament without having the intention of winning. He's not just going to show up and shoot 73 twice and head home Friday evening. Right. I think he'll want to play the Players or Bay Hill. Will he be able to? I mean, looking at his swings, obviously he mentioned in his press conference he loves the moving it up. He loves playing a forward tee now. We have no idea how far he's actually hitting the golf ball. No. His swings look great.
Right.
We'll see this weekend.
Practice for 4 or 5 days, real practice sessions on the range at the Hero.
Yeah, and we'll see, we're all into the ball speed and club head speed. We'll see some of those numbers this weekend, depending on how many drivers he actually hits. So, but for Tiger, I think it's really up to that right leg. He'll have to strengthen that. He still has that sleeve going, and he'll have that right leg sleeve going for, I think, a very long time, if not the rest of his career. He just has to build the strength up, because as you know, at Augusta National, it's all uneven lines.
Yeah, just walking Augusta is a challenge. This is obviously very different. But I will say this, Adam. Thank God it's his right leg.
Yeah.
Because if it was left leg, his post-up leg, we're probably not here right now, so thank God it was his right leg. And I'll tell you something else. If he plays well this weekend, it's going to be really hard for all of us not to overreact to this.
All of us overreacted to a 3-second video at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Right. Oh, yeah.
So if he plays well this weekend, it's going to be tough. But we're going to have to not overreact because we got to keep this in perspective. It's all good news, but it's going to be hard. And I don't know why, but I'm with you. He doesn't play anywhere unless he thinks he can play. Exactly. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this weekend. I really do. I think he's going to play well. We'll see.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to get Bob's reaction to this. Bob Week's going to join us on the other side. He's going to give us our feats of strength, our grievances for the game of golf for the year that was 2021. And we're going to talk a little Tiger as well with Weeksy on the other side. Don't forget, hit us up on Twitter, @Golf Talk Canada, Instagram, @Golf Talk Canada. Give us your feat of strength, your grievance for the year. If we use it on the air, you're going to have a chance to win a set of P790s from our friends at Taylormade here on the Festivus. For the rest of us, we'll do it on the other side. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC, presented by Taylormade, was brought to you by SmartGolfDeals.com, the smartest way to shop for golf. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Taylormade. This segment of GTC is brought to you by WeatherTech Canada, Canada's leader in automotive accessories.
Welcome back to Golf Talk Canada. It is Aquino, it is Scully, and it is a Festivus special. Again, hit us up on Twitter. We've got some people jumping in. We've had people jumping in Twitter and Instagram all weekend. We're going to get to that in the next segment and share some of the feats of strength and grievances from our audience on what happened in the year of golf in 2021. There's a lot of people agreeing with me as well, Adam, with the Greg Norman Live Golf. Surprise, surprise. So I'm not alone in asking the question, what's your golf soul worth, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely. And, the same thing with the Zoom fatigue, with Wi-Fi going out. Yes. And we've been fortunate throughout the time we've done Zoom stuff. We never really had any.
We've been lucky.
Yeah.
Golf Talk Canada has been lucky,
wood.
knock on wood,
yeah.
right? Of course, I lost my mind in the spring where I became all of a sudden the most political golf guy in the country,
yes.
losing my mind.
I'm sure that'll come up as well.
When our premier decided he was going to close outside.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were keys to outside, Adam. You just can't go out there anymore.
That was one of the strangest stretches of life, period.
I know what you do with those boys and the pops. I know. You don't just play golf. Boys and pops. All right, joining us now, our co-host, our friend, our buddy, our pal, who was...
Your partner.
Our partner, yes. Weeksino 1-1. Bob, how are we feeling today? I know you're on vacation, but normally Weeksino gets to play Team Recoil in a match. Now, Team Recoil is Adam Scully and Nick Obrich from Taylormade. And as you know, we are 81-1 career against them. But you and I are leaving California 1-1 this time, and we did not get our rematch. Adam brought in two new partners to try to take us down, and he was successful in one of those matches.
Well, I think we should point out that Nick Obrich, who was in charge of selecting his replacement, and in doing that, he put Tomo Bystedt, who played NCAA collegiate golf,
Yes.
and then he put LPGA Tour player Rebecca Lee Bentham on the other one.
That's solid recruiting right there.
I'm kind of smelling something here. I'm suspecting that since Nick and Adam couldn't do it together, they're bringing in recruits that are pretty strong recruits. Let's just put it that way.
I think it's a compliment, Bob, to you and I that they had to go to the NCAA level and the LPGA Tour level to try to take us down. And we still came out 1-1. So yeah. I'm going to pat us on the back, Bob, and I'm going to start right now with Weeksino is a feat of strength in 2021, Bob.
There you go. Wow. There you go.
Okay, Bob, start off. Where you want to go? Cup half full or cup half empty? How are you starting?
Well, let's go cup half full.
Nice.
I got a few that I'll run through here. I thought one of the great stories in golf in Canada this year was, and you guys touched on it a little bit in the news and headlines, was the All Abilities Championship that we had both on an Ontario level and on a national level for the first time. Golf Canada put one up, and rightly so, held it at Humber Valley. Golf Ontario has had it for a few years, and as you mentioned, our buddy Todd Kierstead was the guy driving that bus in a lot of ways. How about Brooke Henderson getting her 10th win on the LPGA Tour? I thought Roger Sloan getting into the playoff at Wyndham was great. Mike Wan taking over the USGA is a great move, although it's also, I could also put it in the other category because it'll mean a lot fewer rants for Mark now that his buddy Mike Davis is gone. And then finally, you touched on this one too. Golfers in Ontario kind of banding together to pressure the government to open up the golf courses finally. So there you go. There's my list.
Yeah, and Bob, you mentioned right there at the end how golfers in Ontario sort of banded together with what was, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, one of the strangest times we'll ever see in life Period. Full stop. You mentioned Brooke Henderson there, and we are going to discuss Brooke Henderson in our Year in Review special airing on TSN and around the holiday season as well. But she picked up her 10th career LPGA victory. But Bob, for you looking ahead to next year, what are your expectations for Brooke? What does Brooke have to do to maybe get back in the winner's circle on a major championship stage? Does she have to improve her short game? What's your outlook for Brooke for 2022?
Well, the first red flag that comes up for me is the driver rule that's going to limit the length of a driver to 46 inches. Now, Brooke plays a 48-inch driver and chokes down on a 2 inches, something she's always done throughout her career. And she has said that, when she uses a regulation length driver, in other words, doesn't choke down on the driver, it doesn't work that well. So that's a big concern for me going into the new year. I'm sure she's going to spend some time trying to figure that out and work on it. But I think bigger picture, she's at sort of a crossroads in her career right now. She rocketed up there, and yes, she won this year, but in some ways, based on her past performance, she's kind of plateaued. So how do you get better? How do you get back in major championship wins? She was in the top 25 in all 5 majors, so it's not like a bad year. But to take another step forward, I think she needs to sort of get some critical eyes on her, look at her game. We know her short game is the weak part. She admits it. She admits her putting, and as Mark and I have talked about, it's not bad putting, it's just streaky putting. So how do you even out the highs and the lows, and then get those wedges a little more dialed in? So I think she's got to make some choices, some hard choices. We'll see what happens if Brittany stays along. Don't forget, Brittany got married last year. So maybe she might want to have a family life instead of a caddy life. We don't know. So I think it'll be interesting to see what Brooke Henderson arrives on the first tee for the first tournament with next year.
All right, Bob, and the USGA and RNA with the 48-inch driver rule, that might come up a little bit in grievances later in the show. just a thought. Just saying, possibly. Okay, speaking of grievances, Bob, you've got to have some for the world of golf in the year that was 2021. So give us the other side of give us the cup half empty.
Well, of course, the cancellation of both our national championships for the second year in a row, that was really disappointing. And it just hurts because those are big moments for Canadian golf, not for Canadian golf fans, for Canadian golfers, to see the PGA Tour. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year. The first tournament will be in June. We know that you have to get vaccinated to get across the border. How many players and caddies will that restrict on both tours? So, that's a hard one to do. I think the other thing was the assault on municipal golf, not just in Toronto. We know about it in Toronto because we live and breathe it every day, and there's been some movement forward a little bit on that. But right across the country, municipal golf is really the heartbeat. It's where a lot of us learned how to play, where we hit our first shots. And I think the attack on it is something that we have to be very, very wary of as a golf community and be able to fight back and not play defense so much. We got to get some offense out there and show the world and show those disbelievers and those people who think golf is just a sport for rich old people that's not the case.
Yeah, that narrative is just so old, especially at a municipal level, and it's not like these courses are empty, Bob. Right? These courses are full. They're making money. There's all different types of people from all different walks of life, including juniors, that can only access golf as well via subway. Right? Let's remember we live in a huge city. There's only 3 cities in North America larger than Toronto. And we're going to now cut off golf from anyone who doesn't own a vehicle as well. There's just so much wrong with it, so I'm with you on that. Okay, let's switch gears here for a few minutes while we still have you, because Adam and I, we just talked Tiger, Bob. And the last thing I said to Adam was, how hard is it going to be for all of us not to overreact if Tiger plays well this weekend? What do you expect?
Well, I expect overreaction, one way or the other. That's what Tiger does. That's what he brings to the table. No matter what he does, it's the first good shot he hits. We're all going to be saying, "Look out!" Augusta get him fitted for another green jacket. The first bad shot he hits, we're going to be saying, "Well, that's it. He's going to retire." It's just the way it goes with Tiger Woods. But if we take a real kind of honest look at it, I think it's just kind of going to be good to see, what kind of shape he's in. How much stamina does he have? Let's see what he's like at the end of the round compared to the start of the round. Does the leg impinge on his swing in any way, shape, or form? We've seen some of those highlights of him on the range in Bahamas last week or 2 weeks ago, and so I think everyone's very positive. We're very excited, and listen, he's the greatest golfer of his generation, maybe of all time, and I think it's natural to kind of want this guy to come back yet again, and if he does, what a story it would be. But I hope that we kind of temper things and just say, man, he's still, he's looking good. He's still a ways off, but I think as long as Tiger's playing golf, then I think everybody should be happy.
And I think the viewers, the audience, everyone who's watching is just going to see Tiger interact with his son and laughing, because that was a highlight last year, just seeing them play together. Bob, we were talking about this in our last segment. 10 months ago, Tiger Woods was in this car crash, and we thought, is he ever going to walk again? Is he going to survive this crash? But 10 months later now, he's playing golf on television. Just how remarkable of a feat is this, that this guy nearly was going to have his leg amputated, and now he's playing golf on national TV?
Well, the one thing about Tiger, as we've all come to learn, is in addition to being such a great golfer, he is absolutely relentless when it comes to looking after or trying to resurrect his body. I can't imagine what he's gone through, but I can guarantee you that whatever the program was, he stuck to it, and he's done everything that he possibly can to try and get himself back into shape. And as you said, he's come a long way. He talked about being in a hospital bed for basically 3 months, now to the point where he's actually able to play a little bit of golf, and he's kind of underselling things as he normally does. He always likes to say, I don't know if I'll get back to where I was or whatever, but I think that's a cautious and probably a smart move. I think, you under promise and over deliver. So maybe Tiger will be like the Tiger of old and be able to challenge for a tournament title, possibly a major, but I think it's just a remarkable recovery to see him back playing any kind of golf, whether it's just a hit and giggle, as he calls it, or the next major.
All right, Bob, and that's a great segue, because before we let you go, we've got to get a prediction. We got to get some kind of idea. Adam and I were suggesting that West Coast is likely out of the question. It's too close. B, the travel, time zone, cold, damp weather on the West Coast. And I brought up the concept of, what about the Players' Championship? He goes into the World Golf Hall of Fame that week on the Wednesday as well. He becomes a World Golf Hall of Fame official member that Wednesday. TPC Sawgrass, the stadium course, short by modern day standards. Florida, warmer in March than the West Coast is in February. Any chance we see him at the Players, Bob? If not the Players, in your mind right now, if you're throwing a dart at the calendar, where do you think we might see Tiger?
I think the first reaction I have to that, what you just said, is Tiger's not in the World Golf Hall of Fame. I would say 50-50 that he plays the Players, and I would say 100% that we're going to see him at Augusta. That would be my betting if I was going in that way. I don't think there's any way they're going to hold him back from Augusta National if we see what we see in this PNC Championship. But I think he might wait it out. I think he's one of those guys who's now learned that coming back a little bit too early might not be the best thing. So I think he'll come back to exactly where he wants to, which is Augusta National.
Well, Bob, there you go. You have it. And I hope you and I are able to see that induction ceremony on the Wednesday night in person. That would be cool to see. I've never been to a World Golf Hall of Fame induction ceremony before, so if I'm going to do my first, Tiger's not a bad one, I think, to go check out.
That's a good place to start.
Bob, Merry Christmas, and thank you as always for the year. It's you're the best. I love working with you and Adam, and enjoy your vacation. And I'm sure we'll talk over December for sure. So all the best to you and your family.
Thanks. Merry Christmas to you. Great to get to be together with the trio for another great season. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob.
Later. Thanks, Bob. Bob Weeks calling in from vacation with his feats of strength and grievances. And speaking of feats of strength and grievances, as it is Festivus, on the other side, a couple special guests. We're going to go to the Twitter and Instagram universe as well to read a couple of viewers and listeners and what they think feats of strengths and grievances are, and we'll take it from there. Don't forget, if you jump in on the show, we use it on the air. You got a chance at P790 irons from our friends at Taylormade. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC, presented by Taylormade, was brought to you by WeatherTech Canada, Canada's leader in automotive accessories. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Taylormade. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Play Golf Myrtle Beach. No destination in the world can match Myrtle Beach's volume of golf, quality, and value. Come discover why Myrtle Beach is the golf capital of the world.
Welcome back to Golf Talk Canada. Zucchino and Scully with you as Festivus continues. And I got a grievance right now that I just remembered that I didn't have on my list. Because at the top of the hour, we're going to do our feats of strength and grievances for the year. But I have a grievance I totally forgot about. We had to cancel the Can-Am Cup again.
That's right.
Due to COVID and all, 2 straight years. You know, it was the border hadn't been fully open yet. They hadn't removed the travel restrictions yet. The government was still asking us not to travel if it wasn't for business, etc. Obviously, the Can-Am Cup is not business. Now those are all removed.
Yep.
And the Can-Am Cup is going to be back on the calendar for October of next year, right? So we're looking forward to looking to add a round of golf. So we will rise from the ashes and get stronger. But, man, that's a grievance to cancel our Can-Am Cup and just golf events in general that got squashed. Real sad. Okay, Adam, we've got a couple of special guests that chimed in on Festivus. So over to you,
as we do on an annual basis, we have special guests call in or send us audio of their feats of strength or their grievances. And our first special guest is none other than PGA Tour golfer, TSN golf analyst from time to time, Graham Dillette. Graham, let's hear your feats of strength and your grievances.
Hey, it's Graham Dillette. Thanks for the invite to be on. I haven't celebrated Festivus in years, so as per tradition, my annual grievance is that I missed out on all the crypto craze and that I still don't even understand what NFTs are. My feat of strength was without question the 5-team parlay that me and my buddies hit when we were down in Vegas for his 40th birthday. It was truly a Festivus miracle. A happy Festivus, everyone.
Look at that.
That's great.
Getting some TSN Edge content in there.
I love it. He hits the 5-team parlay. I hit a 3-team when I was in Vegas a few weeks. So I understand this joy, and well done, Graham. That's awesome. Unbelievable. What was his grievance again? Sorry, I missed his grievance there off the top.
The crypto.
Oh, the crypto. Really, I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
It was buried in a mine somewhere.
I've had a few too many pucks fired at my head.
Yeah, really, I can't follow it. There's some fake currency living in an electronic universe somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. It's above my pay grade.
Well, and another special guest we had, Cara Weglin from Sports Center, and she has also her feats of strength and her grievances for 2021.
Hey, this is Cara Weglin from Sports Center, and for Festivus, my feat of strength is after a terrible golf season. I actually got my butt out to the driving range 2 weeks ago at the end of November, and I could not have hit the ball better. I was feeling so down coming out of this season, and for some reason, I don't know what changed or what I did, but I have never hit the ball better. The downside, I now have to wait a few months before I can test it back out on the golf course, but it still felt pretty good heading into the new year. My grievance is fall golf at public golf courses. All the private courses are closed. I went out for a round in early November at a public course in Toronto that will remain nameless, and the tee times were so poorly organized that once we hit the back nine, it was so stacked up, there was a 45-minute wait for each hole. We ended up having to bail after the 10th hole because it had been 3.5 hours. We couldn't afford to waste any more time. And when we tried to talk to somebody about it, they wouldn't do anything for us. They wouldn't refund it. They wouldn't rain check it. We were basically told it is what it is. It was very frustrating. So my grievance is golf courses that do not plan things properly and let their tee time stack up. Have a great Festivus, everyone.
Cara's right. I was going to bring this up later, that when the golf boom happens, occasionally there are people, unfortunately, that fall into the greed lane. And 12-minute tee time intervals become 10, and 10-minute tee time intervals become 8, and then it could get shorter, and then they double sell, and they jam you out there because they take the cash grab, because they went through a couple of years of some thin times, and now it's all about the money, and they forget about the user experience, and unfortunately, Cara ran into those. But Cara, if you're listening or watching today, I'm going to tell you why things turned around for you. Because I bump into Cara all the time at the driving range. I was with Marty. Him and I drove out to the East End. We went to a driving range. We were hitting some golf balls. This is just the most recent occasion. This was in the summer, but I've seen her at driving ranges before. She works hard at it, and she was practicing hard. And you know what I say, Adam? The answers are in the dirt, and she was grinding it out. And when you grind it out, answers in the dirt came around. Her game came around. And my gut tells me the way Cara works on her golf game, she's likely going to work like that throughout the winter indoors. So my guess is she's up for a good spring. So
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
And now, should we go to social media?
Yeah, let's go to social media for a few.
Okay, so let's go to Instagram here. Follow us at Golf Talk Canada on Instagram. Feat of strength from Case_JV. Having a few putts for eagle this year. Grievance, 3 putting eagle.
Nothing worse. Nothing worse.
We have Adriana Christina. Feat of strength. Hitting bombs down the fairway every drive. Grievance, couldn't chip if my life depended on it. And then we have Brian Barch 90. My feat of strength. Ordered a set of P790s and they showed up in July. Played my first round, shot a personal best of 72.
Ooh.
Brian, way to go.
So his first time with the P790s, he shoots 72.
Yes, but his grievance, only had a chance to play 1 round before I had to go in for a medical procedure that was going to knock me out for a month or so. Gave my brother my P790s to try for a while I was not playing. He decided he liked them so much, he sent me a check back instead of giving back my iron. Still playing my old gamers. He has the new sticks. My little brother is such a weasel. Just saying. Brian, that is an unbelievable story.
Oh, my. No good deed goes unpunished.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Oh, my.
And the irons are that good. So, Brian, I don't blame your brother, but, you shot your personal best.
I got to tell you, the new P790s, they're a little sleeker. The ones that we're giving away, a little thinner. Nick, if you're listening today or watching today, I'm thinking of making the move. I'm thinking of making the move. I hit them again when we were away. I have hit them at.
How about the new product too? Those irons
the new product
really
is fantastic too. But I am thinking of making the move to the new 790 iron.
Okay.
I know. I am. I've even hit them. You know me, I like apples for apples comparisons. We did that with the new product, which we're going to air on TV.
I can't wait to show that video.
That's fantastic.
That's going to be fun.
But I've done it recently with my own irons and the P790 irons. Apples for apples. And, I mean, it's it's hard not to make the move, you know? I'm 46 now, Adam. I'm not getting any faster. We're going to get to that in the next segment. But hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Talk Canada. It is the Festivus for the rest of us. We just read a few. If we use them again on the air, we might have some opportunities to pop some in if we get a good one. The rest of the way, we got another 60 minutes coming up. And you still got a chance to win a set of P790s from our friends at Taylormade, the iron that I might be moving to. I don't know if that's a good endorsement.
That's the new slogan, I think, right?
Yeah, iron that
just
I might be
with
moving
an iron.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to consider those and the new 70s. I haven't decided yet where I'm going.
70s look good, too.
I know. Just the ball speeds are so quick off the 90s. And I can still hit them because, I'm not gifted at them. I can still flight them.
You are a natural athlete.
We'll do it next. On the other side, to kick off hour 2, Adam and I are going to share our personal feats of strength and grievances for the year of golf. This is Festivus. Coming up next, more GTC.
This segment of GTC, presented by Taylormade, was brought to you by Play Golf Myrtle Beach. No destination in the world can match Myrtle Beach's volume of golf, quality, and value. Come discover why Myrtle Beach is the golf capital of the world. Thank you for listening to Hour 1 of GTC. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Talk Canada. For show archives, podcasts, and all things GTC, visit golftalkcanada.com. And don't miss Golf Talk Canada television, weekly on the TSN television network. This is Hour 2 of Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. For over 15 years, our focus has been on helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one. Now, here are your hosts, Mark Zecchino, Bob Weeks, and Adam Scully.
What?
Nothing. It's a card from my dad.
What is it? Wait. Dear son, happy Festivus? What is Festivus?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
When George was growing
Jerry,
up,
no.
his father hated all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas, so he made up his own holiday.
Oh, and another piece of the puzzle falls into place.
All right.
And instead of a tree, didn't your father put up an aluminum pole?
I'm going to work. You happy now? I'm out of here.
Happy Festivus. It's Festivus. When George was growing up, his father...
It's nothing. It's a stupid holiday my father invented. It doesn't exist.
Happy Festivus, Georgie.
Frank invented a holiday? He's so prolific.
Welcome back. Hour 2, Festivus, our 10th annual. Zucchino with you, Scully with you, weeks on vacation. Adam, we forgot the poll this year.
We did.
Yeah, I forgot my Lucha Libre wrestling mask this year. I feel disheveled from our travels.
And I mean, I didn't do any push-ups. Tradition here.
The tradition, yes. You were supposed to be doing push-ups and feats of
But
strength.
we did, remember, we always talked about our live studio audience for the show.
Yes.
We did have a live studio audience for our show at the Swing Golf Lounge.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yes, that was good to get out and see people again. Well, I hope we get to do more of that
I think
next
we will.
year.
I think we will.
So maybe some news on that to come, which would be great.
okay.
We'll see. We'll see where that goes. All right, Adam. We've got our own feats of strengths and grievances
Yes, we
that
do.
we'd like to get. So I'm going to give you the teaser. Let's start with the cup half full. I like what Bob did. You know, Bob started cup half full. Plenty of time to complain. Let's highlight some things that impressed us and thing that made us warm and fuzzy for the year of golf in 2021.
Okay, first of all, the 7-way playoff for bronze in the men's golf in the Olympics, that was special. Yes, for us in Eastern time, it was in the middle of the night. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. But you were watching it live. I was watching it live. Weeksy was watching it live. I remember thinking this is the best golf in terms of drama, in terms of intrigue of the year. And it was so much fun to see. As Rory McIlroy said, he's never worked so hard to finish third. Just because, there's no money on the line. It's just all pride of being the one to hold a medal at the end of it. Of course, CT Pan ended up winning that bronze medal. That was a major feat of strength.
That's got to be one of my favorite quotes of the year from Rory McIlroy.
And he's always super honest with the media, which we'll get to in Winners, Weird, and What, of course. But that's one of them for sure. Okay, this is more specific to one shot. How about Jordan Spieth at the Ryder Cup? The flop shot he hit.
Wow.
17th hole, Friday morning.
Yes.
This thing goes 80 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air. And then he pulls the Usain Bolt running down the hill.
Dangerous running down there.
Thank goodness that wasn't Tiger or anyone older than Jordan Spieth doing that, because we might not have seen them again.
And if it looks that steep on TV, because I've played that hole and been there, trust me, TV is not doing that justice. So no, it looks steep on TV, but it is way steeper in reality.
Plus, he was almost avoiding moguls going down. He was going left, right, and center, trying to get his way through. And another one here, one that we're so very fond of course, is I'm a fan of hitting bombs. You're a fan of Phil Mickelson. Just Kiowa Island. Phil Mickelson, one of the most unlikely victories we'll ever see.
Yes,
hands down. The golf history, that was everything about that. First of all, Phil Mickelson winning the way he did, but that was almost the return of fans to sports, with all of those fans in the fairway swarming Phil, chanting Phil, 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 Phil. Took Brooks Koepka an hour and a half to get through the crowd just to get onto the 18th green. That was just one of the great moments that sort of gives you chills.
100%. I have it as one of my feats as well.
Yeah.
It's my favorite major championship of the year. It will be the most historic event we've seen this year in terms of relevancy in the world of golf. The return of spectators, that scene to see all those people gather. It looked like Arnold Palmer at the Open Championship. One of my favorite statistics of the entire year, and something we might never be able to say, but when Alex Checa won the U.S. Senior Open this year, for the first time ever in history, we were able to say that the U.S. Open champion is older than the U.S. Senior Open champion. It is the greatest. If I had to isolate the number one feat of strength in the world of golf in 2021, it has to be Phil Mickelson becoming the oldest major champion in history.
And a game we're seeing where, youth is taking a big charge. Don't count out the old guys.
What about personal feats of strength?
Personal feats of strength on the golf course. I got faster.
Yeah, your ball speed's ridiculous.
Fun. We're going to get even faster, too, with
Yes.
this new product that, I mean, we've mentioned this probably 6 or 7 times. We're so excited. It's
But there
radical.
used to be 15 yards between us, and now there's 40.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten shorter. I haven't gotten longer.
Yeah.
But it's all you gaining.
And it's been a lot of hard work for me. I enjoy time in the gym.
Yeah.
My actual golf game, I didn't get to play as much golf this year. That might be a bit of a grievance, but
Right.
I mean, life gets in the way,
Yes, it
obviously,
does.
of course. So
Spain's got to be a highlight.
Spain is a major highlight for me. I remember standing at Valderrama and with all the history there, Sergio Garcia's won there 3 times, and just thinking, I don't want to move a piece of grass out of it. It just looks so pristine and perfect. It's a place where I know, sort of tiptoeing around there. I want to get back there. I want to get back there with you.
We got to go. Maybe I was saying this to Bob. Bob's never been either. So Bob and I have never done it. So
yeah, a couple of personal feats of strength there, but maybe next year we'll report back with maybe even faster goals.
Well, it could be just in a switch in gear.
Yeah.
Could happen, which we saw.
Absolutely. How about you? How about some personal stuff?
Well, a few Tiger playing golf next week is a feat of strength for me
Yes.
for sure. I already talked about Phil Mickelson. I think something that went a little bit under the radar that is going to develop as the years go on, and we might look back in a couple of years and go, wow, that was important. The alignment of the European Tour and the PGA Tour and the work between Jay Monahan and Keith Pelley to really discuss how their schedules are going to work together and coexist. The perfect example, the Scottish Open, going to be a co-sanctioned event next year with both tours. This is a huge feat of strength for the game of golf, and I think in 5 years, when we turn around and look back at this decision in 21, we're going to go, wow, because this is only going to get deeper. I think that's a great feat of strength. What about Jon Rahm?
Yeah.
What about Jon Rahm with basically the memorial in his pocket, 6-shot lead, gets yanked off the golf course because of COVID, and handles it like the Jon Rahm we knew was in there but never saw before. All of a sudden, this mature Jon Rahm, who's a father, who's a married guy, who's ready to be number 1 in the world, he doesn't take a fit. He says, these are the rules. He follows the rules. What does he do? Comes back. It's the summer of Rahm. He wins the U.S. Open with an epic finish at Torrey Pines and becomes the number 1 player in the world. I think that's a real feat of strength. From a personal standpoint, this is pretty funny, Adam, because you're talking about ball speeds and gaining ball speeds. And I will get faster next year just by switching to the new driver. We all will. So I can't really call that a feat of strength.
Yeah, true.
What you did was a feat of strength this year. My feat of strength is not getting slower.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm 46.
Yeah.
Going to be 47 Masters Week, as I always, my birthday always falls on Masters Week. And if I can continue to play golf and not get slower, and once in a while, because of our friends at Taylormade, get a few miles an hour in the other direction, that's a feat of strength at this point in my career, in my golf career, right? But the big one for me, I think personally, because I missed out on a lot of great things I was looking forward to this year. California with our friends at Taylormade was huge.
That was.
Because I said this earlier on when we did one of our year in reviews on what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the return of golf travel. I want the Can-Am Cup back. Looking forward to getting back to Ireland. I miss Spain. Yada. I did get down to Congressional with my best friend and play in the member guest, which was kind of like nice to be let out again. Oh, I'm being let out, right? So I'm looking forward to those things. But one of the, in terms of just my biggest personal feat of strength, playing the entire year with 1 putter and 1 grip was huge for me.
That's saying something right there.
Yeah, absolutely huge for me. So
I mean, you've gone through, there was one round you used 6 different ways to hold the putter.
Use 6 different to hold the putter.
And that's impressive just to think of 6 different ways you can, but that's, I mean, but you're rolling the rock now.
Yeah, so it's coming.
Some would say it's unconventional.
It is a little unconventional, but it works for you.
All right.
I'm going to hold back some of these grievances because we've done some of these already. The one thing I didn't do was RNA and USGA. Come on. A 48 shaft length is legal until somebody wins with it. We're just here again with the anchor putter. Yeah. Anchor putter's fine for 30 years until somebody starts winning with it. Yep. And here we are again with the 48-inch shaft. You got any more you want to share? Anything from social media you want to
So I'll go for some grievances for the professional scale here first. How about Dustin Johnson's year.
You're vanishing?
Sort of, remember last year around Festivus, our year in review sort of time frame where, DJ had just won the November Masters in record-breaking fashion. We thought, oh my goodness, this guy's going to go on a Tiger-esque run. Wins in Saudi Arabia, and then sort of MIA the rest of the year. Yes, he had that great performance at the Ryder Cup, both on and off the golf course. But it's just sort of a weird year for DJ.
Well, when a guy who's on the verge of being a dominant world number one just never contends in any event of importance in a singles competition, it's a washed out year.
Another guy, Matt Kuchar, sort of, where have you been? Yes, he's getting older, perhaps, but, him and John Wood, no longer a partnership. John Wood, now a commentator with NBC. Yeah. The first tournament out of the COVID break last June, he was 18th in the world. Now he's 99th. Oh, one top 10, 25 starts.
The reverse anchor. No,
going right on left hand. Like, which hand is it, Coach?
Anchoring, as a right-hander, anchoring the putter on his back arm.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah. But, it's just a very strange year for Matt Kuchar, a very strange year for Justin Thomas as well. Obviously, his year didn't get off to the greatest of starts with some comments made on the golf course, clothing sponsor dropping him as a result, some other sponsors as well, his grandfather passing away, winning the Players' Championship, which he had some really cool shots en route to winning that Players' Championship, but then sort of another strange, a lost year for Justin Thomas.
Won the Players, and that was kind of it, right?
You think Justin Thomas, he has that one major championship.
That's ridiculous.
That was 4.5 years ago.
Unbelievably shocking that it's just one at
wild
this stage.
To see for GT.
What about Patrick Reed? Forgot him. Farmers Insurance Open. I had it here in my notes. Patrick Reed with another rules issue. It's embedded as it hops into the thick rough at Torrey Pines, claiming it's embedded. It was bizarre.
How that occurred. Do you want to hear some social media?
Let's hear a couple more for social media. Remember, we're giving away P790 irons. You got to jump in with us on at Golf Talk Canada, Instagram and Twitter. If we use it on the air, you got a chance. We used a couple already. What do we got?
Okay, so here's M. Shoe 2, feet of strength. Golf wins is one of the safest escapes during the pandemic. His grievance? Still with the white belt? Really?
Yes. You know what? I love that. That is fantastic. I bang on. The white, unless you're wearing white pants or white shorts.
White shoes. How about white shoes?
I can't do
The belt's got to match the shoes.
I can't see the white belt now. Shock against the dark trousers. I don't know. And our friend Casey at Adidas this is one of his grievances. Every time I speak with Casey, he says, "Listen, white belt only with the white shorts and white shorts and white pants now. No more white belt offsetting the shoes. Go collar. Go to if you're wearing a navy pant, go navy belt with the white shoes.
That with the white shoes.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know.
I'm thinking a fashion segment for next year. We take 5. We sort of walk down the runway.
Right.
Likes, dislikes, Venn diagram, perhaps.
Well, now too. I'm approaching my more toned down color years as well, Adam.
Oh.
So that's
Okay.
even as an Italian.
Okay, before we go to break, one more.
All right.
This is from Trav Fit 101. My strength. My daughter out driving me and saying, "I got this, Dad," in a tournament twosome.
That's
awesome. Grievance. My daughter out driving me and saying, "I got this, Dad." Ha ha ha. Love growing the game.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That is so good. Okay, someone's going to win a set of P790s, and we got some good ones there.
We got some good candidates in there.
Very much. On the other side, TSN Edge picks, future bets for 2022. I know Adam's going to take a deep dive. I got a few for you as well. Who do we like, where, and why? And if you can find a little action or a little fantasy play, now might be the time for the future segment, TSN Edge. Coming up next, this is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC was presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. For over 15 years, our focus has been on helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. This segment of GTC is brought to you by the Muskoka Bay Club and Resort. Live, stay, and play.
And welcome back to Golf Talk Canada, our 10th annual Festivus special. Zucchino, Scully, with you here today. TSN 1050 Radio, iHeartRadio app, TSN2 simulcast on TV this morning. Whether you're listening or watching, thanks for jumping in. We're having some fun this morning. We're giving away a set of P790 Taylormade irons for our listeners and our viewers that share their grievances and feats of strength in the game of golf. on Golf Talk Canada, Twitter, and Instagram. It is our TSN Edge moment each week. TSN Edge, your home for all your fantasy needs, and Golf Talk Canada lets you know who we like in the game of golf. We've already picked a few winners this year, Adam.
We each have 2.
2 winners each, both you and I, for the kickoff to the fall portion of the wraparound schedule. So we head into the calendar year with 2 wins under our belts already, doing quite well. And not many missed cuts either, like fairly consistent.
There was one week where things sort of went off the deep end a little bit miscut-wise, but yeah, we've done well.
Overall, so bad. Yeah. So not so bad. So we'll be back Century Tournament of Champions.
You'll be there.
From Maui. I will be on the ground. Yeah. That is my return to normalcy on my PGA Tour radio team. So looking forward to getting back on the ground. I haven't been on the ground for quite some time with the PGA Tour radio team for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And getting back to do the first 2 events in Hawaii. And we will kick off our TSN Edge calendar year with those events from Hawaii and pick up where we left off. But we thought we'd have some fun today with some future bets. So I've got a couple futures for you here that I think that yours truly is probably going to jump in on. First one is Colin Morikawa to win the Masters. Annually, the narrative you hear at Augusta is that bombers do well at Augusta. You got to take advantages of the par 5. That is not a false narrative. That is accurate. Par 5 scoring, extremely important at Augusta National. However, there is one statistic in this century, since the year 2000, that has been a more dominant statistic when identifying who the Masters champion is going to be. And it's strokes gained approach. It's the best iron player that typically rises to the top. Have there been outlier years? Yes, but year in and year out, this century, great iron players win at Augusta. So you're looking for great iron players and players that dominate par 5. So who's the greatest iron player in the world? Well, it's the number 2 player in the world, Colin Morikawa, who I feel will be the world number 1 player at some point in the near future. And he is 13-1 right now to win the Masters. And some places have him second or third, depending where you are. Currently, Rahm, the betting favorite in most sports books, as the favorite to win the Masters.
Yep.
But I like Colin Morikawa 13-1 as my futures bet. And I like Sam Burns. I think Sam Burns.
Value there. Okay.
As a value play at Augusta. And trying to find him here at 45-1, Sam Burns.
Okay.
45-1. Check out Sam Burns. This is his last 9 starts on the PGA Tour. Tied for 3rd, tied for 7th, tied for 5th, tied for 14th, a victory, a tie for 18th, an 8th, a tie for 21, and a tie for 2nd. That's right. In his last 9 starts, he's got a win, a 2nd, and his worst finish is a tie for 21. He's a bomber. He destroys par 5s. 45-1, great value, Sam Burns.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with the Masters theme as well, and I've got 2 guys that I'm looking at here.
All right.
You mentioned some of the great ball strikers on the PGA Tour do well. How about Corey Connors? Some great value, 66-1, top 10s at both of the Masters.
Had a chance to win in April.
Yep, and he came T10 in November.
Which we forget that. Yes.
Yeah, he had a hole-in-one in the 3rd round of the April Masters and ended up finishing tied for 8th. I like Corey Connors, 66-1. Again, which we'll have this conversation during our year-in review show. If Corey Connors is putting well, and he's got the experience this year, was leading the PGA Championship after 18 holes.
You got to think that him and Mackenzie Hughes are more comfortable in their skin in those situations this year.
Totally. Yeah. And another guy for the Masters, Patrick Cantlay. 22-1 right now. Of course, back when Tiger Woods won in 2019, Patrick Cantlay had the lead for about 11 minutes on Sunday, but he still had the lead on the back 9 at the Masters. So this is a guy who's played well at Augusta before, obviously had a great finish, FedEx Cup champion, player of the year. There's a little discussion about that for Patrick Cantlay in 2021. I like him at the Masters coming up at 22-1.
That's a good one, too. Okay. I'm going to move to the Open for my next future. I'm going to go Louis Oosthuizen. The question with Louis Oosthuizen as we head to 2022 will be, does he have confidence, and is he still the guy that puts himself in position at every major like we saw in 2021? Or does he now deal with scar tissue where he won't be able to get back? He wasn't able to close the deal again last year. And it's going to be interesting to see. I like the value play at 22-1 at the Open Championship. Why? We're going back to St. Andrews. In 2010, it's the home of his only major championship. Not a bad little look at Louis Oosthuizen at the Open Championship in July. And my final futures, and I can't find this bet yet, but I'm looking for it because I've seen these bets before. It is a President's Cup year.
Yep.
This is a dominant U.S. side. You saw what they just did to the European squad. This is a team now led by Schauffele, Morikawa, Cantley. Not to say that the DJs aren't going to have good team events, but I mean the spirit of this room has changed by youth that don't carry scar tissue. If you can get a bet where you give away 3.5 points, you give away a field goal and a bit against the President's Cup international team, take it. I think America waxes the international team when we get to Quail Hollow. All right, Adam, what are the remainder of your futures?
Okay, so I have two here. I'll just start at the U.S. Open because this is maybe not as much of an outlandish value play that I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
But first of all, U.S. Open, Xander Schauffele, 18-1 right now. For a guy who's never finished outside the top 10 in the U.S. Open in his career, hard not to like Xander Schauffele. Of course, this year before the U.S. Open at his home course, Torrey Pines playing at home, he went to an armbar putter, which was...
Yep, that was strict.
Why
Out of the blue.
Why
Out
are you
of the
doing
blue.
this? But that was bizarre. And then we get to the Open Championship. And you talk about Louis Oosthuizen. He's played well there before. He's won there before. You know who else has won there?
I knew this was coming.
Tiger Woods has won there.
I knew this was coming.
If you see Tiger Woods at 50-1,
at St.
we're
Andrews,
jumping on that bandwagon because he's going to have hopefully some competitive reps at this point. Who knows what kind of draw he'll get with the weather. You got to keep it in play off the tee.
It's an easy walk.
It's an easier walk. It's big greens, and he's someone who's done well at the Open Championship before. Obviously, his lag putting has to be good. Why not?
That
50-1 Tiger Woods
at 50-1.
Yeah.
Well, if he's playing, if he's got 2 or 3 PGA Tour events under his belt, by the time we get to July, if we've seen him at a major, if we've seen him at the Players, and he's 50-1 and we're going to St. Andrews, you know what? I might be right with you.
But if he's played a couple events, I'm guessing his odds will drop significantly, probably in the 25.
Which is why we got to make that now.
I know.
And
You got to be bold.
Be
Let's
bold
hope.
on it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, on the other side, Adam, it is our Winners, Weird, and What of the year here on our Festivus special. More coming up on GTC.
This segment of GTC, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management, was brought to you by the Muskoka Bay Club and Resort. Live, stay, and play. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Cadillac. Springtime is a lot like a Cadillac, spirited, vibrant, and you definitely know when it arrives. Put a little spring in your drive with the Cadillac XT4, XT5, or XT6. Visit Cadillac.ca. Your Cadillac is waiting. Cadillac, never stop arriving.
Welcome back to Golf Talk Canada, a Festivus for the rest of us, our 10th annual Festivus special. And we should mention that Golf Talk Canada Season 12. Season 12. Where's the time gone?
You were 18 when it started.
I was. I know. It's a 34. That's a big 34 to 46. That's a good hunk. That is a good hunk of life right there, right? Wow. Okay, we kick off February 7th. Our brand new season, Season 12 of Golf Talk Canada Radio. Golf Talk Canada TV returns February 23rd. An earlier start this year. Why, Adam, you ask? Because the FedEx Cup has moved up. So we're trying to just kind of align ourselves with the PGA Tour season, with Major Championship Golf. Of course, TSN, you're home for all your Major Championship Golf. And we want to be in the right spot at the right time. The FedEx Cup gets handed out third week of August this year. Third week of August. Very different. And then we'll stay on the air for TV past the FedEx Cup to bridge the gap to the President's Cup, which will be kind of like our end of our regular TV season. Of course, radio, we just never stop talking.
Every Monday. We're here.
We're
10 a.m. to noon.
Talk.
Yep. And maybe next year, you know what? We'll be releasing some social media posts throughout the holiday season Do you have any suggestions for us? Do you have any segment ideas?
You know what? That's a good idea because if you want to hear segment, please reach out to us, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know.
Do you want to hear all of Mark's putting styles? Do you want to hear every single one? That could take more than one show. Do you want to hear how can we improve the game? Do you want pace of play? What do you want to know?
What do you want to know? You want more lessons? Whatever it is, hit us up. We'll try to incorporate it into radio and TV next year. This is the time of year where we get to reimagine what we do for the year. So we love our listeners and our viewers. You guys are great. So jump in with us. All right. It is time for our favorite segment. It is Winners, Weird, and What? The good, the bad, the ugly, and Adam, the tea is mine.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
All right, my winner is going to echo what some of our listeners and viewers have chimed in on social media in terms of feats of strength. And it's the game of golf. Mm-hmm. And it's really, if you go back to 2020, golf was really the first game and sport to say, hey, we can come back and we can do this safely. This is not the end of the world here. We can go play golf. This is how we do it. And then coming into year 2 of this pandemic, for me, it went a step further. Because not only is participation up at the amateur level again, Team Canada flags all over the place. It's a global phenomenon with participation, not necessarily just a Canadian phenomenon, but well done Team Canada across the board, Golf Ontario, Golf Canada, and just the Canadian golf community. The support that Bob echoed of when we got shut down in Ontario and how they unified and they pushed back. It is my winner for the year. And to your point, Adam, when we saw those images of Phil Mickelson and the crowds and stuff, it was not just golf led the way in 2020, and then it led the way back to closer to normal in 2021. And in all likelihood, it'll lead the way right back to full-blown normal in 2022.
Let's hope, fingers crossed for that. And the interesting thing about that is when golf did reopen in Ontario, it actually did reopen, yes, that was the same weekend as the PGA Championship. So it's sort of tied in well together.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Mm-hmm. There you go. My weird, don't you feel like you were played? Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. Don't you feel that? It starts off with some jabs in social media.
Some eye rolling.
The interview that Koepka did at the PGA Championship. It just felt bizarre and weird. It felt like they were taking a grab at the players' pool of money for social media that was announced this year. And then all of a sudden, the crescendo is this made-for-TV match that was completely unwatchable, almost entertainment-free. I didn't think you could do it.
You know what was the best part of that match, sorry?
Phil. Yes. Phil was the best. If you remove Phil Mickelson from that broadcast in the analyst role, and he played it right. He played it like it was a fun thing. He didn't play it like he was breaking down the U.S. Open here. Phil played it right. With the exception of that, it was almost entertainment-free. Sans entertainment.
Well, especially because the guys wouldn't talk to each other.
Awful.
They're in different carts. Bryson didn't play very well. Koepka, he made some birdies in the 12-hole match that only lasted 9 holes.
Yeah.
But it's, you wonder what was going on behind closed doors. We saw that hug at the Ryder Cup, those 2 heartfelt hugs from Bryson and Brooks together. But, who knows?
And my what, and okay, I'm going to keep pounding this because it keeps coming up. And if it doesn't go away, I'm going to keep harping on it. But this Live Golf Federation, headed up by Greg Norman, who has obviously sold his soul to the devil on this, to create a league where they're going to hand out, millions of, we're talking 50 million hand it out to guys to come play in a Saudi-backed golf league to compete against the PGA Tour. Listen, I'm a capitalist, okay? I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in competition. I have no problem with competition, even though I'm an employee as well of the PGA Tour, and I'm a PGA Tour guy. I have no problem. You'll never hear me say competition's bad. Mm-hmm. Competition is good. This has nothing to do with competition. This is with where the money's coming from and who's behind this. And we're trying to live in a time where we're trying to be better people. Mm-hmm. We're trying to speak better. We're trying to acknowledge things from the past. We're just all trying to do better. Now, do sometimes things go off the rails still? Do we still drop the ball? Of course we do. But I like to think the intent of the planet is in a better place than it was 10, 15, 20, whatever years ago you want to go. Mm-hmm. But when we're willing to watch the check clear, where there's no women's rights, there's no gay rights, there's no journalists' rights, people end up dead, heads chopped off, whatever you want to call it, however deep you want to go down this well. But as long as the check clears, it's okay. You've sold your soul to the devil. It will remain my what? Until it goes away. Forget it. All right, Scully, before I take up another 20 minutes angry about the Live Golf, this all goes back to normal. Before I throw the TDU, you and I had this chat when we were in California, because a lot of people aren't old enough to remember, you weren't born, or you were just born, that in the early 90s, Greg Norman went after the PGA Tour for a World Golf League. He had a bee in his bonnet back in the early 90s. And it ended up that the PGA Tour reacted at the time and turned it into the World Golf Championship Series. That's what it was born from, Norman pushing back at the time and trying to complain that the best players in the world didn't play against each other. They should be paid another level. This is a bee in the bonnet back from the early 90s. And we can't forget that. So there you go. All right. Maybe we'll do deeper on this early.
I think we will.
I'm sure we'll have information in February. All right, Adam, the tee is yours.
Yeah, well, I had the coffee. I got to activate the calves, and I got to step on one here. Come on, baby.
That's what I'm going to do today. Hit bombs and attack the pin.
All right, Mark, so many different ways we could go for my winners. We already know up, but my winner this year is Michael Vasaki.
I love this story.
One of the great stories we saw throughout the year. He was a legend on the mini tours in Florida. And he Monday qualified for the Valspar Championship. And there was a camera on him when he called home. He said, "Mom and Dad, I made it." And he's bawling his eyes out. It was a remarkable video. Of course, he went on to miss the cut at the Valspar Championship. But from then, Justin Thomas has helped him financially a little bit trying to make it. And, the future looks bright here for Michael Vasaki. But this is one of the great stories.
I love the interaction with the Justin Thomas was probably the highlight for me. And it looks like it's going to continue in a positive, this story, as you pointed out. But I love that interaction. And we forget, because we get to watch the Rory McIlroys of the world and the DJs and this and that. We forget not everybody out there is a multi-gazillion millionaire. Some guys are fighting for their lives, fighting for their career, journeymen. This is so cool.
It really is. And there's a little segment on SportsCenter called "Why We Love Sports." Right
it's worth
there.
checking out.
That's
right
why.
there.
That's why we love sports.
There you go.
Right there. Okay, my weird this week. You mentioned Rory McIlroy. Why are you chasing speed? So here we are at the Players' Championship. I went down a rabbit hole trying to get 3 or 4 more miles per hour.
Okay, hold on a second here. You're flying at 320, and you're chasing speed.
Well, of course. I don't play the game for a living. I mean, if I hit a 380 left, right, center, I don't care. It's just going 380. But for Rory McIlroy, this guy makes a gajillion dollars a year, and he got caught up in the whole Bryson hoopla, winning the U.S. Open, doing something that no one has ever done. And he was explaining how his swing got more rotational. Yes, he had more speed, but we've spoken about this so many times how, with the wedges, he either hits the shot short right or long left, and he just got caught down this rabbit hole with his game. It just sort of, that was weird for Rory, but his whole season was weird.
It's 2 keys for Rory. He's got to get control of his emotions in his mind again. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have control of the machine under pressure. So you got to calm down and figure that out. And he's got to get better inside 120 yards. It's simply down to the wedges. Even his putting's come around.
Yeah.
His putting stroke has looked really good at times this year. This is very simple. Calm down, improve your wedges. Stop chasing speed.
Well, calm down, too. He went Incredible Hulk after in Dubai.
That's what I mean.
Now,
listen, we love the fact that he's passionate.
Yeah.
And we love the fact that he cares. And I wish more players were like Rory, speaking out against certain things that I just ranted on.
Right.
He is a leader in many ways, but we really want. The game's better when Rory's contending at majors and winning. I hope he figures it out.
I agree as well. Hopefully we can complete that career Grand Slam. How great of a story that would be in April. Okay, my what this year. What's next for Bryson DeChambeau? We saw him we saw him go from being a regular looking human being to the Michelin Man, to sort of losing 15 pounds. He had, mental issues in terms of he couldn't see for a little bit at Augusta National last November.
That was strange.
That was weird. That was weird. But then now he's trying to, the World Long Drive, which was fascinating to watch.
And he
competed.
Well. Yes.
But what's next? I mean, are we going to see 200-mile-an-hour ball speed?
Yes.
All the time? He's using allegedly a 3-degree driver? Mm-hmm. But I'm curious, how much longer can his body take this in terms of
swinging
all the
at that
stress,
capacity?
Because he's clearly a different looking guy in terms of muscle and size. How long can your body take that before it just says, no, we got to shut this down? I'm curious.
I don't know, Adam. That's a good question because I think he's got to, if he's going to continue down this path, he's got a short window to get things done, right?
Totally.
Here's the interesting thing. Assuming he hasn't done any kind of irreversible damage yet because of his age. Let's assume he's healthy still. And he's taken it to this number of 200 miles an hour plus that we've all seen, right? Like if he were to scale back now, his baseline has come up so high that I think if he were just to scale down, our friend Ian Fraser at THG, who were there with Ian and Matt and those guys, nobody knows their stuff more in this country than those guys when it comes to this part of the game, the custom fitting and the speed and the dynamics of how the modern day golf swing aligns with equipment, etc. And they talk about baseline a lot when they're talking about speed drills and stuff. It's like, because you don't go to the golf course and swing at 110 miles an hour. You do that in training and you get your speed up so that when you go to the golf course and you put your stock swing on something, your baseline numbers come up.
Yep.
Not for DeChambeau.
No.
He goes to the golf course swinging at 110 miles an hour shoes, and that's why he gave us one of the most bizarre 9 holes of the year, which was the back 9 at Torrey Pines, where he shot 1,000 when he had one hand on the trophy.
44 on the back 9 at the U.S. Open. I should say, though, I love that Bryson is doing this because it's something different. It's something totally, we've never seen this before, someone completely reshape his body to become the Incredible Hulk and go play golf.
But if he goes and swings it at 80-85% with a stock swing with a ball speed of 183, does he not win more golf championships?
Maybe, we talk about how Golf Talk Canada should rule the world. Maybe he should get in his ear and maybe be a swing instructor. Maybe. I'm just saying.
I can't imagine I'm the only person telling him this, Adam.
Yeah, but he wants to swing at 213 ball speed.
We'll do it.
Why not? Go for it.
All right, let's wrap it up because on the other side we're going to give away a set of P7
irons.
Next
We've done
segment,
a draw.
we're giving away for Festivus a set of P790 irons. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of GTC, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management, was brought to you by Cadillac. Springtime is a lot like a Cadillac, spirited, vibrant, and you definitely know when it arrives. Put a little spring in your drive with the Cadillac XT4, XT5, or XT6. Visit Cadillac.ca. Your Cadillac is waiting. Cadillac, never stop arriving. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Adidas Golf and the all-new ZG21. Lightweight with zero compromise.
Welcome back to Golf Talk Canada as we wrap up our 10th annual Festivus specials. Aquino and Scully with you. Bob was on vacation. He joined us in hour 1. But Bob, Adam, and I are back for our Year in Review television special, So keep an eye on that. It's a 60-minute Year in Review special. Will be airing over the holiday season on TSN a few times. So when TSN starts airing their best ofs and their top 10 lists of the year and look back retrospectives on the year that was 2021, look for the Golf Talk Canada crew to get our 2 cents in there as well. And we'll do that on TSN TV coming up in December. Season 12 of Golf Talk Canada kicks off on Monday, February 7th on TSN Radio, iHeartRadio app. That is every Monday coming at you in the year of 2022 from 10 in the morning till noon on TSN 1050, online at tsn.ca, iHeartRadio app, as well as a few of the other TSN stations in the country. And every Monday after major events, and we say major events, we're not just including the 4 majors. We're including the Players' Championship, the RBC Canadian Open, the President's Cup, etc. So about 12 Mondays in the year, we'll be doing this right here. We'll be simulcasting Golf Talk Canada Radio on TSN2 television as well. So that all kicks off February 7th. And then February 23rd is the new season of Golf Talk Canada. We're back. And again, like Adam said earlier in the show, jump in on social media, Twitter, Instagram. We'll fire a few things out over the offseason saying, what else would you like to see? We do deep dives into the Canadian golf scene and deep dives into the PGA Tour and the professional world of golf. But what else would you like to see? Do you want more travel? Do you want more equipment? Do you want more rules? Do you want more lessons, getting better at this game? What would you like us to touch base on? Let us know, and we'll do it for you next year in 2022. All right. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Obviously, you're all very important to what we do and who we are. Special thanks today to one of our presenting sponsors, along with Picton Mahoney Asset Management, is our good friends at Taylormade Golf, who've been with us for over 10 years here on Golf Talk Canada. And once again, as always, 20 Weeks of Taylormade will be back next year. We'll have news on 20 Weeks of Taylormade throughout the winter. It's back for 2022. But like always, Adam, they stepped up. They said, let's give away a set of P790 irons, the hottest iron in the game. Let's give away a set for Festivus, for someone who chimed in on social media with feats of strength and grievances. We got a winner. Let's just announce the winner and do you have the
I've got it.
You got it right? Let's announce the winner. Who won the irons and why?
Okay, thanks to everyone who reached out to us to your feats of strength, your airing of the grievances. But our winner of the Taylormade P790 irons is Mr. Brian Barch. And of course, Brian commented on our Instagram post saying, my feat of strength this year, ordered a set of P790s. They showed up in July, played my first round, shot a personal best of 72. Then he had to take a bit of a break, so his brother asked to use the irons, and he decided he liked them so much, he sent me a check back instead of my clubs. So still playing with my old gamers. He has the new sticks. My little brother is such a weasel, just saying. Brian, we'll be in touch with you on social media, and you'll have your hands on some new P790 irons very soon.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. A personal best the first time with his brand new irons, then unfortunately has to take some time off due to medical reasons, and the brother comes in. Well done. Congratulations, Brian, and you're going to love those P790s, and who knows, maybe I'm going 90 or 70. I haven't figured out where yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's going to land 90. I really do.
I think whenever you go for this session, I want to be there.
You want to go there for
maybe a live stream?
A live stream.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up over the holiday season, Adam?
I'm off to Florida.
Nice.
I'm off to our base in Florida. My family's already down there. My first Christmas as an uncle.
Yes, that's awesome.
Which I'm very excited about.
Cool.
And get some golf in, get some R&R in, turn the phone off for a couple days.
Nice.
Looking forward to being down there. Then, of course, covering the World Junior Hockey Championships, which is going on in Edmonton starting Boxing Day here on TSN.
You have an amazing family, so give them my best, please.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys have a great holiday down there. And I'm jealous. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the Scully family. And thank you. You carried the ball so much for Bob and I this year. And you did an amazing job as always. And you're going to be carrying the ball again a lot in 2022 as my travel schedule is crazy. So you'll be in this seat a ton and at that podium a ton in 2022 as Bob and I get back to normal. I'll use quotations normal. Normal just means we get back to work.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still going to be that normal. But as it moves in that direction, you're going to be doing a lot of this. And of course, everything you do behind the glass. And thanks to Chris behind the glass and everybody week in, week out that helps us with our program, TV and radio. Like there's so many amazing bodies here at TSN that they're just the best at what they do. And they need to be included. So thanks to them. Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We're back next year. We can't do it without you. We love what we do, and we can't wait to do it again in 2022. Remember, first good decision on the golf course, it always starts in the closet. Thank you for watching and listening.
This segment of GTC, presented by Picton Mahoney Asset Management, was brought to you by Adidas Golf and the all-new ZG21. Lightweight with zero compromise. Thank you for listening to GTC. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Golf Talk Canada. For show archives, podcasts, and all things GTC, visit golftalkcanada.com. And don't miss Golf Talk Canada Television, weekly on the TSN Television Network.